Howdy design fans, and welcome back. Continuing our discussion of anchoring, reciprocal concessions, and reciprocity. Let's quickly jump right back into the slides. So we were talking about this concept of anchoring, where the first piece of information a visitor sees becomes a fixed, heavily weighted item in the person's conscientious mind, where all other options get evaluated within the context and proximity of that anchor. So I took the liberty to run a test with 50 respondents throughout US, Canada, Australia, males and females, no one that I know, and I designed two versions of this page in Photoshop. Obviously very, very primitive, very, very basic, but the point was to illustrate this idea. So the page has a headline that says this: obviously, we're not going to charge you $895 for our affordable Bluetooth headphones, ... There's an image of the actual pair of Bluetooth headphones that we're selling. Enter your email to get pre-order, or it's not even grammatically correct, enter your email to pre-order at our discounted rate, okay? And their email address, see our price. Little mistakes, not a live page. The idea behind the Bluetooth headset was because it's pretty much a universal product, right? The test showed that the people the salespeople who first made that joke and threw out some outlandish number actually closed deals for a higher monthly cost than the other salespeople for the exact same service, right? So this is not a joke. This is real stuff. This is money, right? This is cash in your pocket by doing these things properly. Very simple concept of reciprocity, right? That first thing we spoke about. Engendering indebtedness. Very simple. People want to return goodwill. You do a favor, A token gesture, people want to repay that. It's an innate, universal psychological reaction. By giving gifts or extending yourself in any way for your visitors, you're going to engender a sense of goodwill and a desire for your visitors to reciprocate that to you. Another famous study in 2002 that was done was where experimenters took waiters, and over time they experimented by giving the check to the customer either with just the check, right, and recommended gratuities, recommended tips, the check with a little piece of chocolate on the check, or a check with a little bag of candies, right? So simple token gestures. Here's a little chocolate, here's a little bag of candies. And this might seem super, super intuitive, and it might just make so much sense, but it's not done, right? It should be done because this is real money. And what the experimenters found was that the average tip left for the same service, right? The same waiter, same restaurant, same food, same service, the tip amount went up. There was a greater average tip amount when there was just a little piece of chocolate left, and even a greater amount was the average tip when there was a whole bag of candies left, right? So incredible. One thing that's important to keep in mind when you're engendering indebtedness to your customers is like, don't have strings attached. Don't ask for anything in return, right? If you ask for anything in return, then it becomes a manipulative sort of relationship where you kind of like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, sort of thing like that. No, that's not going to create a sense of desire for reciprocity. Just extend yourself to your visitors, and there's many, many simple, easy ways you could do that. This comes in many forms, right? Free advice, free tools, a trial, a preview of the content, white papers, free consultations, offering somebody to do an account audit, right? Additional perks with your service. These are all universally applied, simple ideas that typically we think about, hey, oh, it increases engagement. It increases engagement. Yeah, they say, yeah, well, that's true. It does increase engagement. But what it also does is it creates a deeply powerful drive to reciprocate, right? To extend that goodwill. I've gotten something of value from you. I want to give back value to you, right? So if you extend yourself, when somebody downloads a white paper, which is really great, and it was free, and you didn't harass them with sales calls, they're much more likely to choose your service. On the right-hand side over here, we have a picture of Warby Parker, right? This is an incredible example of part of the reason why Warby Parker was able to, which is an online glasses store, which is they've been able to grow tremendously over the last few years. They offer this unique home try-on, right? Something that no other glasses company. Here's an example of a great tool developed by HubSpot called the Website Grader. How strong is your website? Put in your URL, your email, and you get your answer, right? It's a free tool. It's not even that related to HubSpot's core business, which is a CRM software marketing automation, but it's a free tool. Again, it's the same sort of thing. Yes, you're engaging. Yes, you're making the brand more memorable, but it's more than that. It's a deeply psychological thing. You're engendering that sense of reciprocity. Once again, a really good example from Behave. I was on the page, I am not ready to register, I'm about to leave, and they give me an offer, once again, pretty funny, Chialdini's Persuasion, supplies limited, right? Enter to win a free copy. Again, listen, a great contest, it'll be fun to participate, I might win, I get something, I'm more likely to attend the conference now. I'm more likely to attend the conference, which is a huge commitment of time and energy, just on the basis that they have engendered goodwill by setting up a contest which has a lot of value. Zoho CRM. Zoho is similar to HubSpot in a way they offer lots of different marketing tools, cloud computing software, accounting software, meeting tools, and they have this Zoho meeting. We use it all the time at the agency. Host a free meeting, it's totally free to use, right? Again, similar to HubSpot, this is a free tool that anybody could use. The more you use Zoho meeting for free and you talk to your clients and you could do screen shares and you could show presentations, whatever it may be, the more likely you are to use Zoho CRM's paid products. Incredibly powerful concept of reciprocity at play here. Don't underestimate the resource library, right? Everyone has a resource library, and you might think it's overkill. The resource library is a powerful tool for reciprocity. Once again, people download free ebooks, free white papers, as if they're valuable. If the customer could tell that you really put your time into developing that content, yes, they'll learn and they'll be engaging with your brand, and you'll have your logo on every page, and you'll have links back to your site on every page of your ebook. Yeah, but what's going on a more subliminal level is that they feel that they've gotten value from you without paying you. And when they're ready to make the decision, obviously it's not going to convince them to buy your product or buy your service, but when they are ready to actually buy it, right, when they've moved through that funnel and they're at the transaction phase, they're at the action phase of the funnel, they'll be much more likely to buy from you because they want to return that goodwill. Again, another example from Bounce Exchange, a powerful 1-2 combo of reciprocity and cognitive dissonance theory, right? Cognitive dissonance, very, very simply, is that people are inclined to keep their behaviors, past, current, and future, and their beliefs consistent over time, right? If people act in two different ways, or people act in a way that's different than the way they feel or think, it creates a sense of psychological tension. It creates a discomfort in the brain. We'll rationalize our behaviors. We'll rationalize our choices simply to keep them consistent, right? This is the classic defense mechanism, simply to keep them consistent with previous behaviors and previous beliefs, right? Things that we put effort into. Here's just a classic example of cognitive dissonance theory. You guys watching this course right now are more likely to become my client for landing page optimization, landing page design, than somebody else's. If you've made it this far in the course, right, and you didn't just jump here, then obviously you find it valuable, right? Let's just be honest, you didn't pay a huge amount of money to be here. I hope you've gotten a lot of value if you're here. This is about once you've decided that you need it, once you've decided that you want it, you're more likely to want to extend that goodwill back to an entity, a person, a company that has provided you with value. And where cognitive dissonance theory comes into it is it says that if you go and hire another company for landing page design, then there might be a little bit of cognitive tension that you might have wasted the last 6 hours of your life, or however long it's been, watching these videos. Because if these videos were so great, worthwhile spending your 6 hours, shouldn't you hire that company? Right? So it's subtle tension. So you'll rationalize, say, hey, I want to go to that company, I want to go to that person because I've already invested. And that kind of, it all comes full circle, right? So the more a person's engaging with your brand, the more people, the more white papers they're reading, the more time they're investing in engaging in your brand, the more you're playing that cognitive dissonance card. Because if they want to pay for that service or they want to buy your product and they don't use you, then how do they justify the fact that they've spent 8 hours reading your stuff, right? If I watch 6 movies with Brad Pitt in it, like cognitive dissonance theory states that I should feel that Brad Pitt's a great actor. Because if I feel that he's a bad actor, then how do I justify the fact that I just watched 6 of his movies, right, and spent all that time? These are all things that kind of come full circle. And here's an example on the right of a company called Bounce Exchange. Also, again, do you want to convert your bounce traffic into revenue? This is an offer for a free audit. So the free audit is reciprocity, right? We're going to give you a free audit. We sell expensive software, expensive tools, but we'll give you a free complimentary consultation, right? So it's reciprocity. Then they have a really good self-selection. Yes, let's do this. No, let's consider it gone. Meaning my bounce traffic from my website, I don't care. So answering no is playing that cognitive dissonance card. Because if you answer no, then how does that justify the fact that you spent so hard optimizing your site and that you care so much about your business? So it's hard to click that no button. It causes cognitive tension, and these are also the people who run this company, Bounce Exchange. You can check them out, bouncex.com. These guys are behavioral scientists. They know what they're talking about. All right, so it creates a certain level of cognitive tension when you click no, consider it gone, and you're much more likely to consider it yes. So you have that 1-2 powerful combo, reciprocity, cognitive dissonance at play. Another example of reciprocity is where you see a lot of brands offering interactive content like quizzes and puzzles and calculators and assessment tools. And here's a great example from ifsecglobal.com, right? There's a self-assessment to see if you'd be a good candidate for their cybersecurity tools and products. It's interactive. There is an element of cognitive dissonance theory here as well, because if I truly care about my cybersecurity, I should take the minute to take this assessment, right? So because it's interactive, you have that element of cognitive dissonance, and this is a powerful way to get people also engaged and more likely from a psychological persuasive perspective to actually buy your stuff, buy your products when they're ready to make a purchase. And here's another example from Five9. It's contact center solutions, very popular software. Again, benchmark assessment. How well is your call center performing? It's a in a sense of positivity, in a sense of uplifting other people. With that, listen, we've covered the last couple lectures. We've covered anchoring, reciprocal concessions, reciprocity, cognitive dissonance theory, scarcity. We've done a lot of cool stuff. A lot of these persuasive frameworks, again, you know about. But when you apply them to your landing page design, it makes an incredible impact at the point of action. When a person's ready to act and transact, if you could apply these persuasive frameworks well, they're much more likely to convert with you than with your competition. And with that, we will see you very soon in the next lecture.